names of the leaders, we can bring you
Do you know?
absolutely.
Disgusting. I mean, we can do whatever we want to do. I know at least everybody wanted to watch the video.
No, like right now.
Oh, we're going to say the pledge.
Okay.
Just make sure that your phones are on silent.
I'm gonna do it.
All right, gang, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody stand, face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Boy, it sounds good to the house. We're going to invite the regular girls to every meeting from now on. They'll make sure that it's fun, bring the party. Let's start with roll call, please. Ms. Brooke.
Commissioner Case. Commissioner Garavalia. Commissioner Story. Commissioner Cochran.
Present.
Mayor Massersohn.
Present. And we're going to start with the ladies this evening. That way they don't have to stick around. I know some others have plans, so we'll be mindful of that. I've never been to a regular competition before. What a learning experience that was for me. What a long day it is for y'all. And for some of you, it was 2 days long. And all I got to say is you've done a phenomenal job. And any chance we get as a council, I've made it a priority that we recognize our students that are excelling academically, athletically, performance, whatever the case may be. And so tonight, I'd like to recognize you ladies with a simple proclamation. And it just says, well done, we're proud of you, we love what you've done, support from the city of Benton, and then get a photo together. That's okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Lindsay, if you'll come stand next to me, and I'm going to read this to the ladies.
Well, the one has to also.
What's that? Okay. Whoever your sidekick is, go and bring Lauren here as well. So here's the proclamation, and it's just a certificate that says, well done, we love you, great job. But the proclamation says this: whereas hard work, dedication, sportsmanship, and talent have enabled the student athletes on the Benton Regular Girls team, IDTA state second place, AA hip hop, and 5th place in AA jazz. That's a lot of words. And whereas winning the 2024 IDTA state in second place, 2A hip hop, 5th place, 2A jazz, February 11, 2024, has brought Consolidated High School, the city of Benton, Illinois, and Franklin County on the local, state, and national level. Now therefore, let it be resolved, I, Lee Messersmith, Mayor of Benton, do hereby recognize and hereby congratulate the Regular Girls for their tremendous achievement in winning second place in IDTA State AA Hip Hop and 5th place IDTA State. In the testimony whereof we have bear unto affixed the seal of the city of Benton on this day, the 25th day of March, 2024. And I hand this to you all. And we're going to begin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very much. Seriously, I've never been through that before. I tried to make it to multiple events throughout the year. And for one reason or another, I couldn't make it. Oh, we're telling somebody out. So I was bound and determined to get to there one way or the other, and so for me to be able to come, for you guys to take care of me and have fun at our expense was great. So if we can, I'd like to try to get all the girls, even if we kind of keep you all over there, and I can join you all over there for a group picture. And then once we do that, you're free to go. They wore their medals, and they also brought their trophy. And so I'd love to get a picture of all the girls together, and then you all take care of it. You're gonna have to lean. Go towards,
yeah.
Oh, no,
Everybody, yeah, there you go.
Of all the group photos I've ever seen kids take, the Regular Girls have it figured out better than anybody else. They have no problem.
They got it, so you're on the
They
front.
have no problem stacking and leveling, because they know how to get together, so.
Make sure you can see. Hannah don't forget to hide.
Oh, now what do you do? Now I guess I squatter.
Hannah's always trying to hide. Yeah, Hannah. Over here.
Really just sit in that chair like this. Yes. Alright, bend it over towards Haley.
Now y'all take it forever.
Okay, jump it on that side.
I'm in my league, so we're not.
Come right here. How's that?
Okay,
Goodness, what a picture.
sorry.
See, all we see now is Brooke on camera taking a picture of an empty room.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Ladies, thank you. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Thank you.
Got this sorted.
Thank you.
Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
You guys, thank you, ladies. Keep up the good work.
We will, thank you.
Oh, we will.
We're hoping to bring home a bigger one next year.
There you go.
Yes.
Probably will.
Absolutely. Dude,
There's more room in here
Check it
now.
out.
Holy moly.
nice.
And all of a sudden, it's like a normal council meeting.
Here we go.
There's three.
For those that are watching on camera, we'll move on to the regular part of the meeting. Now the regular girls are evacuated. Reading and approval of minutes. Commissioner Case.
Just one set of minutes from the March 11th meeting. I didn't see anything. Again, that doesn't mean that there isn't something, but I didn't see anything. So with that note being made, I make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular March 11th meeting as presented.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
And Mr. Smith?
Yes. Streets and public improvements. Commissioner Cochran.
Don't have a whole lot tonight. A little update on Westina Street. We are doing some cleanup over there in March. Weather's crazy. You know, we haven't had a lot of rain here, so they are doing some cleanup and some fixing up and making a lot of property owners happy. So we've got our water lines all in out at the, our new plant out there. We are going to put another line in, so we're progressing on that. So other than that, it's just the normal stuff. So that's all I have.
Is there any updates that we want to provide from IDOT our meeting with IDOT last week?
Oh, my goodness.
We talked about 6 different projects.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of projects. What their target date is to bid off West Main.
Okay.
January of 25, with the construction of 26, basically. We talked about the Route 37 North, which I don't believe we got a lot going on with that because we've already moved over the water mains. 270 parcels of property we're dealing with. They talked about a future project of milling and surfacing the square. We just talked about several other projects in the area going on. So it was a great meeting to get updates from them, answered all of our questions. And the one in front of the hospital, they're on the big ditch on the north side. They're going to fill it in and make a 3-lane there, I believe, and from the road track to the North Main. So they got an update on that. That's progressing. I believe they said go to bid in that project also in 25. And construction whenever they can get contractors to do it. So, but it was a good meeting. I really appreciate you having me, inviting me.
Your memory was better than mine. All I know is that all of the state highways, including South Main, will have some level of service and work done to them by 2030, including South Main.
They're getting ready to put a bunch of money in Franklin County, and especially Maine. They really are. Okay, so it was a very good meeting, great update, and I appreciate you scheduling.
So just council be aware that probably starting next year, there will be one of our main streets will be under construction. One of them, probably multiples of them, but at least one of them will be under construction to some level for the next 6 to 7, maybe 8 years.
That's correct.
But give it 6, 7 years, we'll have all new main streets for the most part.
Did they have, you said that they would start construction in 26, did they have like an approximation of when they were looking at sinking a shovel? I know we will have to do our side.
West
Yeah,
Main.
so.
Yes, I know we will have to have our portion completed before they start on their projects, which will be, we'll have to move our water and
Well,
sewer.
they're
line.
working on property acquisition now,
Okay.
and so we can't do ours till they do theirs, but then they can't do that until we do ours. So it's looking mid-26.
Yeah, they sent out the letters and they're working and, you know, they got issues with parking, they said, on, the laundromat, I believe, because they're gonna take property and it's, you know, so they got some issues.
Mm-hmm.
But their target date, the way I got it, was to go to bid in January of 25. Now, construction, they said more realistic, will be in 2026.
Which means that we will probably need to have our project
We need to be
started by
yes.
mid
In
25.
2025,
Yes.
that's when we need to be
And
on
that's kind of when they came back to us
construction
and they were like,
in 25,
hey,
yeah.
where are we on our water?
And that was the immediate concern. There were so many things. We were here an hour and a half, 2 hours talking to them, I was told, you know. But that was our immediate concern with that project. And, but that's kind of the way I got it.
Well, I was just curious about the timeline, that way
Yes.
because I mean, we've got a budget upcoming
Yes.
for the next fiscal year. We
Yes.
started to sock some funds back. We will in no way, shape, or form be able to write a check for it all.
That's correct.
But it'll at least give us a better idea of what we could potentially have saved in the coffers And then we can at least try to be early in looking at our funding source, be it,
Yeah.
can we get some grants, which would be fantastic. You know, even if it's an 80% funded grant from the state, 20% of a $3 million project is
Quite a bit of money.
still quite a bit of money, and so we'll have to have some cash on hand to be able to pay for that.
So I wrote down dates, kind of their itinerary
Okay.
timelines, and I'll get that to you, and we can sit down and look at that, kind of map it out. I was surprised how much overlap there was. There's a really good chance that the Route 14 for the hospital is gonna be under construction the same time West Main is.
Yeah, that's the.
So there's a couple of projects that are probably gonna overlap. Now, Route 14 is not gonna impact us as much, but shortly after that, they're talking about East Main, and there's water lines in East Main we'll have to address. So there's some overlapping projects we may have to pull
Well,
on
you
some
don't have
monies
to do
together.
anything immediately, with the water lines in front of the hospital are off the right of way, okay? So that's not an immediate concern of what we have to do. The West Main, we do. So that was the focus of that. But yeah, I mean, of course, who knows, this West Main District took like 10 years time they get all the right of way. So it could be delayed on West Main, but that's their target date.
Gotcha.
So-
And the money for all those projects has been allocated
Yeah.
and been reserved and been planned for, from their perspective.
Okay.
So these are
All
not like
allocated.
pipe dreams, these are actual budgeted projects. The money's been allocated for this
Yes.
from IDOT. So,
Good deal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
public health and safety.
Okay, I got a couple of purchase orders. One is from Chief Funkhauser, Police Department, 2,000 rounds of 9mm heavy duty, 540, 1,000 rounds of 40 cal, 1,000 rounds of 45 ASP, 400, come to $1,300. I make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
The other one I got is for 5 cases of oil for $789.90, tax 59.24, come to $849.14. And we do this ourselves. We don't take it to fast because we would be paying a lot more for the oil.
So we don't do tax, so we don't pay tax, it would just be that amount at the top.
I
So
think
we'll need to
we'll
provide
get
them
that
with
back.
tax exempt. Yes. Okay, no,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get that back. Surely they got it. But I'll talk to Shane tomorrow, make sure.
So can we make a motion to approve it for the flat amount?
That's
the
$899.90.
tax
For
amount?
That's what I was gonna recommend, yeah.
$789.90. I'll make a motion. to
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
The next one I got is discussion and approval of directing the merit board to proceed with the hiring of the police officer to full-time vacancy. I'll make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
I skipped over one. B is for the scanning, for the evidence room. And, Chris has worked with, Chief Funkhauser and, Christine Kraft to get it all worked out, which comes out of which, so yeah, I'll give everybody a copy of it, which it comes out of. So I make a motion to accept that.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
D, removal of POC, I don't have it. E, well, I make a motion to table that.
Table D and E.
Yeah, table D and E.
They got it, we got to read that one motion.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
And F, discussion of revamping the merit board, I just wanna close
No
it.
action.
Yeah, no action on that.
One thing to add on you with, the evidence barcode scanning system, I met with Chief and Christine last week, we talked about it. It was something that was in the chief's, kind of, not long-term plan, but more of a short to mid-term plan in the strategic planning meeting, if you guys remember that. He had brought forward something like this. We can piece together the cost out of a couple of different funds without really strapping anything. They've got some monies left over from a seizure and forfeit account, and then some additional monies left over from the county with their, some licensure. So, it'll take a little bit, but the way they had talked is they'll be able to get this completely onboarded probably in the early part of the summer, when school's out. So, there won't be a lot of, it's not like there will be additional overtime costs in order to onboard this at all. We'll already have the manpower at our disposal. So, just another thing to check off of the list from the strategic planning meeting that we had. It just I was a big fan of it going in, and now we're starting to see some of the small fruits of getting everybody together to have those discussions, which is good. I like to see.
Good.
It's good.
I'm on board with that too. I know it felt painful, but it was a good conversation. That's why we tried to provide snacks.
And, yeah, go ahead, I'll talk about it in mine.
Okay, is that all you have, Mr. Story?
That's all I got.
Excellent. Council Finance, now.
Now, one payroll dated for the 28th of March, this Friday, totaling $98,264.61, with $72,219.22 out of the general fund and $26,045.39 out of the water and sewer fund, and make a motion to approve that as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
No bills. We're gonna try to keep it cheap tonight. Item C, we have circled back around to the discussion of onboarding some online bill pay or e-billing, because we already do have the bill pay option if you have your bill. If you don't have your bill, it's kind of hard to use e-pay because you have to have the exact amount. So Damien worked with our billing software, talked to them. He's kind of done the legwork in this, and talked to the two vendors that they basically recommend. They have one called PSN, which is Payment Service Network, and then Paystar. PSN was the first vendor that they had, and then they added Paystar afterwards. I have a couple of pieces of information. There is a fee. We're basically gonna pass on the fee if they use a credit card or debit card, just like we do now with Illinois ePay. The difference is we have the ability for electronic billing, and it eliminates the use for paper bill if the consumer so chooses. If we move to the paperless billing with PSN, and it's a whole basket, it's 40 cents per transaction, which is cheaper than our current postage rate is on the postcard bills. Plus, then you start thinking of printing bills, manpower, all that. It's probably gonna save us roughly 20 cents per bill when it's all added up, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you compound it, it starts to become real money. Paystar does not charge for a paperless bill. The nice thing about Paystar is it's a 1-year commitment. They will let you out early if they have notice. They did not send us a service agreement, but I think right now, Paystar is kind of I don't wanna call it dumbed down, but it's kind of just like the bare bones system. And PSN is more of a bells and whistles system with a couple of additional tools. I think for this, we start small.
For 1 year.
For 1 year, there's no cost, because there is a monthly cost with PSN at $200 a month.
In addition to 40 cents per transaction.
And everything else, the 2.75% with a $3 minimum fee. Essentially, there's a $1 charge for an e-check, no matter what the amount is. There is a $1.95 charge for $0 to $50, $50 to $100 is 2.75%, and then so anything over $50 is 2.75%. We would essentially forward those costs to the consumer, regardless. I really like Paystar out of the gate. It gives us the ability to implement it at the beginning of the fiscal year, which is coming up. It'll give us roughly a full year to see, do we need more bells and whistles going forward, or can we just get by with something like this? It's a really minimally invasive as far as the workload it adds to our staff upstairs. had to change a couple of small things, the way they just do some of their things now, but they'll become habit and should be a pretty quick change. I mean, Damien and Melissa are quick learners.
So we do this for 1 year?
We'll do it for 1 year, they'll send us a service agreement,
Okay.
so, I'll let you guys will
That,
handle
yeah.
the service agreement, make sure that we don't get looped into anything.
Stumble on ourselves.
I am going to make a motion that we move forward with a service agreement with Paystar for electronic billing, bill payment and billing for the water bills.
And don't underestimate the importance and the magnitude of what, I mean, I know you don't, but I'm saying for the council and the community, don't underestimate the importance and the magnitude of what we're stepping into here and what the city's doing, something we've never done. This is a big deal.
Absolutely, and
It's a small thing, but it's a big deal for us and our citizens.
And it's working towards a solution of an issue that we recently had, and
Absolutely.
we just didn't let it fall on deaf ears and die. So, I make that motion to go with Paystar, or
I'll second.
to begin the process.
I'll second.
Is a month enough time to kind of ramp that up and get it ready?
Yeah, cause they'll get us a service agreement probably in the next couple of
To
weeks.
start May 1.
That is the
That's the
plan,
goal.
or with the bills that go out in May.
May, yeah, bills go out in May, yeah.
Which would be your June bills,
Yes.
basically. Okay, awesome.
Payable.
Commissioner Case?
Yes,
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Hopper?
Yes.
Mayor Masser Smith?
Yes.
and I'm sure I butchered something along the way with that, but we'll
We're in good shape.
we'll talk about it again when we
Hammer that out
approve,
if we need to.
the agreement. 7D was just kind of a circling back. I put it on the board, and if those who went to IML haven't had the opportunity to put something together, I know Commissioner Garibaldi is not here tonight, but that's the one thing that we talked about prior to authorizing attendees at IML was, what do we actually get back? Going up there is one thing, but bringing that information back, like, learning the information is one thing, but being able to implement that information to where it pays dividends for what we're paying. Brooke and Brian both gave me, Brian gave me a novel, one from the ITIA and the other from IML. But it's a couple of those things, like, and I'm just gonna kind of touch on some of them. Brooke talked about updates and changes with OMA and FOIA, which is a large chunk of her day-to-day is getting random FOIA requests and making sure that we're doing what we need to do through the Attorney General's office, along with additional contacts and information when it came to code enforcement, that she's getting Cody and now Caleb, but implementation. Brian's talked about a couple of things that we've talked about as far as like the incubator.
Yep.
Which is an awesome idea, like that's an idea that we can implement once we get the nuts and bolts ironed out. That's something that we can implement pretty quickly, so that's an idea that's came from IML. And, TIF districts and maybe the potential of adding a TIF district somewhere, or residential.
Extending the current.
Or extending the current ones, which are
Those are
bigly important in what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm gonna try to collect, some additional information, in the next week or so, 2 weeks, because we're working on budget. So I'm trying to figure out who we're gonna send to IML, do we switch it up, anything like that? So,
That's good.
being able to implement these, I think it's a big step.
If we're going up on the city's dime, we're bringing something back that benefits the city.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a fair statement.
Absolutely. And
That's fair. That's very fair.
We had really long, drawn-out discussions on IML and, but again, if we're bringing information back, we can continue to make the justification to send people or more people up there if we're bringing those ideas back.
As long as we're learning and doing.
Yes.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Item 7E. I don't like this. I have in front of me a letter of an intent to retire from our treasurer, Lisa Mino. With the Tier 1 retirement incentive that the council passed at the last meeting, it will allow Lisa to make the next step in her life and retire. She knows that it will save the city a tremendous amount of money with her going now instead of waiting until, another 3 years. Man, I hate it. She's been awesome. Like, a lot of what goes on here isn't possible without her, and you want to talk about someone who knows the ins and outs of her job and how important it is. Like, I mean, I can't find a negative thing to say about her, but
Did she give you a date yet?
yes, August 30th. So that will leave us plenty of time to put a search out and make a hire and train. And whoever her replacement will be will train across building of the budget in the end of the fiscal year, beginning of the new fiscal year, in the audit season that comes in June, along with police and fire pension board meetings. Is that July? You know all these dates as well.
So the goal then is to have somebody potentially in place 1st of May.
Hopefully.
First week in May, somewhere in May.
First
First
week
part
in
of May.
So, again, she didn't leave us high and dry. She didn't give us the same notice that she had when she came in, which was a 2-week training period.
She got 3 days.
Yeah, sorry, 3 days. My
Oh, you were being generous.
Yeah, I'm sure she would correct me very quickly if she was here. So I make a motion that we accept the retirement of Lisa Mino on August 30th, 2020.
Make sure you put in there under protest, reluctant.
I'll
Yes.
second it.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I say
tell me
no?
about
Is
it.
that okay? It's already passed. Can I say no?
All ladies, please call,
Yeah.
knowledge of City Hall.
But it's gonna, she's gonna go at some
She's
point.
gonna go sometime.
She's gonna go at some point, and we have the ability to have a thorough training period with whomever her replacement is. And again, that is contingent upon the Tier 1 retirement incentive that we have.
Yeah.
With that being said, item 7E, we need to advertise the position and begin the process of hiring. So I would like to put together an initial hiring committee of myself, the clerk, and our soon-to-be retired treasurer. If there's anybody that knows the ins and outs and what it takes to do that job, it would be Lisa. So I think for the first round of interviews, that's what I would like the committee to be. And then we'll have a secondary committee of myself, the mayor, Tom, and Brooke. We will then we'll probably do a closed session, allow the commissioners to ask questions of a couple finalized candidates, and then make the hire from there.
What's the pay?
$47,500. And then we also have the ability to retool some stuff with this. With incoming, I would like to see some FMLA duties put into this office since they handle.
And that'd be all part of it.
And that'll all be part of the advertising. We've still got to put together some, because I mean, the job description that I have from her is a very lengthy, document. It's a multiple page document on what her job entails from day to day, month to month. So we'll have to kind of compress that into something that fits, but my plan is to advertise through Indeed, and then we will be very projection about it through our own social media channels. I don't think there's any need to advertise in the newspapers for this one. But
We've had a lot of success in the past.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Mayor Messerschmidt?
Absolutely, yes.
And there was a lot of regret in all of that. One last thing, just real quick, speaking about the budget, I've had some conversations, haven't had a chance to talk to Shane yet, but I've talked to the chief a little bit. I've talked to Craig. We're trying to be earlier about our budget, and that way we have plenty of ability to have it posted. We will post it on the website as well as having it on display here, but I think having it on the website will be a little bit easier to allow people to study it in the comfort of their own home and not bombard our employees up here. But again, some of the stuff that, I just got the state bid for the police SUV, prices have went
Way to
up.
go.
The cost for a new cruiser is gonna be about $58,000.
There you go.
We'll get you an e-bike.
Hey, I still have a dealer's license. We can do that. Actually, it's gonna be a one wheel. I still have that license
We need
too.
to get one before the end of the year so Bud can go run around on one.
We can make both those happen.
But outside of that, I'm done speaking for the
Awesome.
evening, so.
Thank you. And I know the journey to go through the retirement incentive, figuring out what to happen and what the timeline would be and the transition of all that of our treasurer position has not been an easy one. So that's been a tough navigate. So
You've
we're
done a
about,
lot of work.
we're about midway through that. So it's done well and it's done with transparency, so.
We want our, I mean, these employees, part of their benefits package is the IMRF and the days and stuff like that. And we, contrary to popular belief, we do want our employees to retire and enjoy life a little bit and not have to worry about some particular things. And this incentive will allow us to allow that to happen and save the city a fairly decent amount of money in a lot of different ways.
Allow us to do some different
We
things.
lose the experience, but we're going to lose the experience at some point regardless, so.
Okay, good. Anything from city attorney updates? Okay. All I have tonight are updates on anything under me. We gave Brian a night off. We kind of teased him a little earlier upstairs that we didn't have anything from economic development, but I'm sure our time will come. Again, council, our school is killing it right now in a lot of different areas, whether you look at academics, track and field, our thespians at the high school just did a performance last weekend in Mamma Mia. It was very successful. I just encourage our council to continue to rally around our students and rally around our community as we have so far, just continue to press forward with that. A short update on the eclipse. We're under 2 weeks away. Things are coming together. Lenny has done a phenomenal job, as Brooke has had a lot of it too. And I think we're ready for the most part to receive people. We have a little bit of nuts and bolts there. We did have to make a shift slightly off square versus on square, which is actually gonna make us better. I said to Brooke, one of the things that I really value about this council, about our community is we have tenacity and we're very good at pivoting. When we encounter a conflict, we encounter an issue, we're very pliable, very flexible. And this council is very good at going, let's shift and take something good and make it better. And that's actually what's happened. And whether that's our chiefs, city clerk, chamber director, like the community's come together very, very well. So in a couple weeks, we're gonna have a big festival up on the square, and hopefully folks will come out for that, but that's all I have.
Meeting in the morning again at
What's that?
9:30.
Oh, yeah. I meant, sorry, thank you. I even told Brooke to remind me if I forgot. The Benton Volunteers, the Benton Library, that's what tenacity. The Benton Library, they held their Easter egg hunt on Saturday. They put out 5,000 eggs. I can't imagine stuffing 5,000 eggs. They had Women's Auxiliary, they had Garden Gate, they had Passion Action, they had Veterinary Volunteers, Fire Department, Police, and the library were there, and they had 500 kids show up for it.
Unbelievable.
Which was an amazing,
On a
amazing,
cold morning.
on a super
Really
cold
cold
morning.
morning.
Amazing event. And again, that's our community rallying around itself, taking care of families and kids, and it was an amazing experience.
And
It was impressive.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was kind of split from what the original plan was, because due to space, because I think they wanted to use those lots behind.
Correct,
the Fire
correct.
Repair,
And
so-
they would just been a muddy mess.
So, but next year, if they're seeded and we have grass and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not a muddy mess, I mean, you could
You-
expect a much larger
Yeah.
turnout.
The people were parking a block or two away trying to get there. There just wasn't, like, that was an event that blew up from the airport last year, so it was a very cool event,
That's
so.
awesome.
But yeah, that's all that I have tonight. Anything under miscellaneous? Anything under old? Anything new? How about matters from the public?
I got something.
Please.
Cool. Real quick, guys. First off, I want to start with just saying hello and thank you. You guys know who I am. Run Deer Park Recycling here in town. I just want to thank you guys. You have supported me pretty much from day one when the township was, or the city council, we could no longer provide recycling, and we came up with a plan, and I stepped in, and you guys have been for it this whole time. And I just want to say thank you, because literally without your guys' gracious donations, we would not still be here doing what we're doing. Not only you guys, but Benton Township has stepped in and has matched the city council's donation for the first time last year.
Cool.
So without that, we would not survive. Each week, we are growing with new people either moving here and say, we're from out of town, we heard about you, or they've been here and they're just now hearing about us. You can tell when someone's new, they're confused, trying to figure out the setup. So that's an easy tell. We talk to them, they learn, they keep coming back. They grow, that's a good thing. We're saving more from the landfill. But unfortunately, the materials don't bring back what they should right now. And we're just spending more. More people means we're there working more labor costs. That's okay, we're trying to work around this. We just had 2 semi trucks picked up. We hadn't had one in a while, we had 2 back to back. We're waiting on that money. Our bank account is down to, I don't know, $100 maybe, and it's been at $100 for maybe a month or more. It does that. It gets down to so low, and I'm like, we're gonna have to throw in the towel, and it's a zero. My workers are gonna stop coming, and the next thing happens, and we sell a truckload and we get money. The city council's money for the year comes in, the township says we'll donate, and it just works out beautifully since the beginning. We get so low and it goes back up and we ride it out. That's the way it goes. We're in that situation now, we're low, but we're gonna come back up. So I'm just here re-showing my face. It's been a while. You guys see me at the location because most of you use the facility. So I just figured I'd pop in here and say thank you. What you guys are doing is making a difference. It is allowing the recycling to continue. We're not only there, but we're participating in the community. You said our community and our high school is on fire right now, and they definitely are. They've got a clean and green or green and clean club.
Good.
We just met up with them a couple weeks ago and did a cleanup with them. They got a bus, we met up, and we did a whole cleanup that day. So without the recycling, those type of things too wouldn't have a place to resonate. So what the council decides in giving us money really does make a difference, and we're using that for the community to just further the efforts and keep as many items out of the landfill as we possibly can. So thank you guys.
Thank you for what you do.
Andy, have things been better as far as, I know that I see some of your posts every now and then about, it's probably just, I hope it's people who are just being kind of ignorant to the situation, but are your logistics better where you don't have people just dumping stuff in random places?
Yes.
It has like trash dump off.
Yep.
Has that improved
It
where
has
it's not
improved.
such an issue?
Yes. If you guys follow my uncle Gene Broadway on Facebook, he gets hot-headed, and if there's one little can in the wrong spot, he posts this long thing. That's bound to happen, but for the most part, the big mistakes that seem done deliberately or just are like, are you serious? A toilet? Those mistakes don't get made really anymore. It's the easy, oh, there's a piece of hard plastic that got mistakenly put in the soft plastic, or there's a baby diaper. Well, they had a friend over and didn't know that's the recycling trash can and one diaper. It's gross, but whatever, mistakes happen. So small things that we just get by, and it's definitely an improvement. The videos and being out there to help encourage and direct definitely is an improvement. So yeah, it has improved.
Would, from our standpoint, just from a planning phase, would I use it because I never want to make an absolute. If we continue to do what we've done as far as our contribution to you, would you prefer it spread out or would you prefer it in a lump sum?
The lump sum is fine just because it's there and I know I can work with it until I can't, and I know I guess either way would be good because you give half of me now and it runs out. I know I've got more coming in later instead of just knowing I got to figure out what's coming later. The lump sum works though because it just sits in the account and I know what it is. One thing that slipped my mind, if you guys could help me encourage the Franklin County Board to help participate, because we're a larger thing than the Benton City Council. It's Frankfort needs to be involved, Mount Vernon, Harrisburg, Christopher, West City. It's not Benton, it's Franklin County and surrounding counties. We're way bigger than Benton. And so for Franklin County Board to just stick their nose up and shoo is kind of crazy. And I went to meetings up there, and during the meeting, we used to pay a recycling coordinator like $11,000 a year when I first started this, and then they just whiffed that away, and I found out he wasn't going anymore, went to the meeting, and right then and there, whoever's in charge of the Franklin County Board appointed somebody else as the recycling coordinator as an unpaid position, just to fill that position, just to keep my nose out of it is the way I felt. That was a couple of years ago. But they need to be involved. It's their community as well, and
We are the county seat.
yeah. So
She leading the charge in that
Yes.
and providing assistance.
Yes.
so that's where we're at on that. I've not been to a meeting in a minute from them, just because I went to a couple and just felt like I wasn't wanted. So that's where I'm at with that. So, but it shouldn't just be on you guys, and I'm glad the township has jumped in, and we need other people besides you. But West City would be great, because it's not just Benton that our customers are. It is a wide variety of people as far as Mount Vernon and Harrisburg, and because where are they going to go? Carbondale? Well, we're closer than that. So,
I had somebody reach out to me, and this is still sidebar. Need to dispose of, I think it was a TV. I know we don't. Do you take those?
Well, I shy away.
But I know you. I know you can say go here.
Yep.
And that's what I said. Check with do it yourself.
Yep.
Do your part,
Yep.
and you'll point them to the right people. So you have a list of all that contact.
Exactly, and usually I point them to Carbondale, but a lot of people are either older and they don't go to Carbondale or can't, or that's really out of the way. And sometimes we do go to Carbondale. So I tell you to go to Carbondale. If you can't, I'll say I'll accept that TV, usually for a $5 donation. Unless it's the size of this table, then maybe make it 10.
Make it worth the time to actually
Exactly.
run down there, get paid for your gas.
Because it's free for the public to take it to Carbondale, 7 items per person per month. When I take more than 7, they charge you per pound. You know how big some of these TVs are and how heavy they are. So I not only have the labor costs and fuel costs that I'm paying somebody and gas to get it there, well then now they're charging me to accept these items.
You're not even breaking even on that.
I'm not even breaking even.
You're doing,
We're
you're
just
doing
doing it.
service and it costs you.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So we shy away from the electronics, but we do it, and we've done some larger. We've been hired from the E911 Franklin County Board here in town. They had us take their electronic recycling off, and CASA recently hired us to take their electronics off. So little things like that help because they're paying us enough to make a little bit to haul those materials away. So we're not only out here begging for money, we're trying to find revenues to make money. You know, we want this to be a business. I didn't start this to be a business, but dang, we've got employees. How can I bring in money to pay these employees where I'm not just begging for it? And charging people to haul electronics is one. We just applied for a grant through the Verizon TCC place. Up to $10,000. We wanted a enclosed trailer. I did a lot of work for that. Unfortunately, we got beat out by another place that they build beds for kids, which is awesome. So I can't be frustrated with we didn't get that grant. But that trailer would have hopefully turned into, now we can start a route program, and do you pick up? Well, now we do. We'll charge you $20 a month, we'll give you a trash can at your house, and we'll come there and get it, and we can start making money, but I can't afford a trailer.
What's that trailer enclosure cost? What did you put down for the grant cost?
I did a lot of research, and I've got that research all together, and I don't just need a small trailer. The trailer needs to make sense, because the bins need to fit in there. The bins are this size. How many bins? You gotta put 2 bins side by side. I need at least this size trailer. It was around like $8,000. So yes, I could get a smaller trailer. Doesn't really fill the needs. Oh, we've got a trailer, yes, 6 months from now. Dang, this crap doesn't fit in here right. So I put in the work, what would make the most sense? We deal with pallets at the store, and I hear my dad say, when we built this store, if I knew now, we made it this wide, but you can't get 2 pallets there. So being that wide doesn't matter, it needs to be this wide, and now you can get 2
And
pallets.
a couple linear feet would give you more space.
Exactly.
So. Okay.
So that's that, and it's not just me begging. I really want to make money legitimately with this, so we can continue the effort, but it's hard. That's where I'm at, guys. I know there's a lot going on, not just me, but thanks for hearing me out.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good. Anybody else? Anything else? Need a motion to adjourn then?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Story? Yes. Commissioner Cochran?
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yes. I bet.
Well, guys, I'm heading back to Sable out there waiting on you.
See you, dude.
See you guys.